Hello, everybody, and welcome to our video series on making sustainability actionable in procurement. With this series, we want to actually dive into our new white paper and explain the underlying concept behind it and what different people, thought leaders within our industries have to say about it and how they actually want to drive this topic forward for procurement. So if you haven't actually downloaded our white paper yet, then this is a good opportunity to either follow the QR code or to go to our website and find it in the resource section of it, or to just follow the link that I put into the comments underneath. But it's a good way to actually get it and get the full picture of it. The idea with today's video is, as I said, to dive a little bit deeper and explain some of the concepts behind it. And today is, as I said before, about the procurement operating model. But if we actually just have a quick look at what is the overarching concept behind that white paper, it is that we have introduced two models that we believe are vital to actually implement sustainability across a procurement organization. And in order to explain that, we are using two different models. We're using the procurement operating model on the one hand side, which we will cover today. And then on the other hand, we use business design principles in order to combine and connect those different dimensions of the operating model. So that's what it is, what the white paper basically uses in order to explain of how to embed sustainability. And in this video series, we will go into each and every of the dimensions and have an interview partner that will actually explain how that can be done in a good way. So before we dive into today's video around the procurement operating model, maybe just a quick couple of words around who we are as Archlet. So Archlet was founded in 2019 in Zurich, Switzerland, and we are a company that is actually driving the sourcing software market. So we empower procurement with user-centric sourcing, analytics, and scenario optimization capabilities. So it's those three elements: sourcing, analytics, and then scenario optimization. And with those, we believe that people can make better decisions faster. And what we mean with that and with holistic decisions is that in procurement, people barely ever make decisions based just on price. There's always more components to it, and it can be anything. Around even the commercial spectrum is quite large. But then there's ESG. So again, sustainability that we will discuss today with this white paper, with this video series, but also things like supply diversity and others. But then there's all these questions around risk and risk mitigation and about qualification and quality of suppliers. So all of those concepts, I think, are important when making decisions. And so as Archlet, we promote that people should work that way. And by using scenario optimization, we believe they can do that. And beside that, obviously, we believe that by using technology, you can not only make these more holistic decisions, but you can make them a lot faster and drive efficiencies for your organization and negotiate better because you have better insights and everything becomes a bit more data driven. So that's enough about us, but just so that you have a little bit of the background. But now let's dive into the idea of the procurement operating model. So the procurement operating model, I think, is a construct that is mostly known to people in consulting or that engage with consultants, but it's really the underlying idea of how to design a procurement function. And the classic procurement operating model consisted of let's say four dimensions. Different models use different numbers, and it can be 4, it can be 6, can be 8. Doesn't really matter. I like 4 because it's easy to remember 4. But the different dimensions were strategy, people, processes, and technology. And so in each of them, basically you have to think about how do I design all of these different elements so that it works together as an organization and it really comes together. And so you really have to not think of any of them in isolation, but how do they interact with each other? How are they connected? How are they correlated, right? And so that was the original operating model. But I think we have in the last 10 years or so, we have really evolved, and a new dimension has developed. And that dimension is around ecosystems, because procurement teams have realized that it's not likely that they can do everything by themselves. They need partners, and so partners can be suppliers, it can be even competitors, it can be individuals. I think the idea of partners can be very, very wide. And so this idea has really developed just over the last couple of years, and there was a new dimension that was now added to this model. And so we're using those 5 dimensions in our white paper. And instead of staying at this top level of just saying what are the different dimensions, we have actually drilled into every single one of them to now understand how do we need to think about sustainability in the context of this operating model, and how do we need to design all of these different aspects, and how do we connect them with each other to make sure that we actually can embed sustainability properly across the organization, that we can really, start from the top, have the leadership team to promote it, and have the leadership team to actually drive the sustainability agenda, have the people being on board, that they are trained, that they have the right skills, and are not just, getting this 1 hour corporate training, but are really taking along the journey. That in terms of the processes, there's a consistency and really an approach of how we include and embed sustainability metrics or considerations into our decision-making process, how we use technology, that we can really get to those metrics and to those information and really model scenarios around them. And then lastly, who are the partners that we need to work with in order to make it happen? Because we as an organization barely have all of that at hand. So that's why we believe the operating model is a great way to think about all of those different aspects and to really, in a very methodical way, approach this topic, so that we can really not just say, hey, sustainability is it's a hot topic right now, and let's do a small team here that now fixes that for us. I don't think that's going to work, but we really need to have like this very structured approach of designing like sustainability into everything that we do, so that it leads to lasting success and impact. Yeah, so that's what the video series will be about. So we will have interview partners across the dimension to cover all of these different dimensions. And so this is just the intro. Next up will be leadership. So we will talk with Thomas Udesen from the Sustainable Procurement Pledge on the role of leadership in driving sustainability into your organization. And then we will follow up on that with different interview partners and explain every single one of those different dimensions for you. So thank you very much for the attention. If you are interested in the topic and if you want to join the conversation, please make sure to get in touch. As I said, start by getting the white paper and really digging into that. But then also really make sure to get in touch if you want to discuss this further, because we're very passionate about the topic and we want to make sure that every organization is able to really fully embed sustainability in procurement. So with that, thank you very much and see you soon.